Rock Riders by Nick Hunter. We pass through dense clouds. The clouds are dark with a pulse of green light that runs through them. The music starts at a low pulse and crescendos as we begin to move faster and faster through the clouds. A stationary diamond of light appears in the center. It pulses as we move through the clouds at a pace visually surpassing the speed of light. The music crescendos again as the light supernovas and burns into another reality. Golden tree set. The screen is bathed in golden light. A man is asleep under the golden tree. He awakens and stands up wearing ancient warrior's clothes. A broadsword comes hurtling through space, and he grasps it from the air. A brilliant light reflects on the sword. A masked adversary appears. The adversary attacks, and the sword fight ensues. He defends himself and finally plunges his broadsword through the adversary's heart. He hears cheers and turns. Temple. The man approaches the temple and walks up the steps as people cheer him on. He enters the temple. Temple Day interior. The man is cheered on by the crowd to sit on a throne. He passes the crowd and sits on the throne. A beautiful woman then approaches and sits next to him. We see his eyes looking at her. Dissolve 2. Stone Mountain Granite Boulder. The face of Kevin Sanders, who is sitting on a granite boulder about the size of a car at the base of Stone Mountain. Kevin and the man on the throne are the same person. Kevin picks up his jacket and exits into the woods. Exterior Stone Mountain Dirt Road. Kevin gets into his 55 Chevy and drives off. We see Kevin driving down the road in his 55 Chevy. Exterior Atlanta Highland Avenue. Kevin's car comes around the corner. As it does, we see the road leading into Atlanta's skyline as he drives into town. Cut to interior microfilm office. Kevin hurries into the office and sits at his work desk and begins microfilming. Cheryl is his co-worker. Kevin, hi. Cheryl, hi. Kevin, I'm late. Cheryl, again. Kevin, I'll be glad when I'm finished with school, 5 years after my class. Cheryl, do you think you'll stop being late? Kevin, maybe. Cheryl, Kevin, did I get the transfer? Cheryl, do you mean to electronics? Kevin, yes, I'd like to work with electronics. Cheryl, why? I graduate next quarter with a degree in energy systems. Cheryl, so? Kevin, they don't build nuclear weapons. Cheryl, no, only Steve was transferred. Kevin, are you sure my name wasn't on the list? Cheryl, yes, I'm sure. Kevin, I don't understand. I had the highest qualifying score. Cheryl, your father's not an engineer with a company. Break time. Break room. Kevin and Cheryl join Steve already sitting at the break room table. Kevin, Steve, hey Kevy. Kevin, don't call me Kevy, mouse breath. Steve, sorry. Kevin, I see you got transferred. Steve, working here really paid off, just like Dad said. Kevin, how's school? Quit. My dad doesn't have a degree, and look how far he got. Kevin, I see. Microfilm office. Kevin is back at work with the light from the microfilm table flickering in his face. Kevin goes into a trance. Interior, the golden tree set. Kevin is standing across from the masked adversary. Kevin has the sword in his hand. A sword fight ensues. Kevin and the masked adversary, he again pierced with the adversary through the heart. He reaches to remove the mask but is awakened. Microfilm office. Cut to Cheryl leaning over Kevin, who is in a trance. Cheryl, Kevin, wake up. Kevin, right? Cheryl, first day of classes. Kevin, right. Cheryl, you're going to be late. Kevin, oh God. Interior of the sandwich shop. Kevin grabs a sandwich to take to class. Walking past the window outside, he sees the girl from his vision. He rushes after to meet her. Interior outside the classroom day. Kevin catches up with the girl. They are headed for the same classroom. Kevin to himself, all right. Kevin intercepts her before she reaches the door. Kevin, hi. Lisa, hi. Kevin, my name's Kevin. The bell rings for the class to start. Uh, she says, my name is Lisa. They go into the class. They go into class. Interior of the classroom. It is almost the end of class. Kevin has finished his lunch and is making irritating noises while trying to dispose of the brown paper bag. He is irritating Professor Henry's teaching. Professor Henry. So in conclusion for our lecture today, the most significant aspect of Egyptian culture was their use of symbolism. Kevin crunches his lunch bag. Professor Henry. The most mysterious artifact left by the culture is the pyramids. They may have some functional purpose we have yet to discover. Kevin crunches his lunch bag again. Professor Henry. The most practical thing the Egyptian culture left the world was papyrus. Kevin makes a final crunch of his lunch bag. That is purpose for writing, not the continuous interruption of my lecture. Kevin smiles. Professor Henry. A final reminder, I hope everyone makes it to the Egyptian exhibit at the museum. Class dismissed. Exterior hall. Kevin catches up with Lisa. Would you like to go with me to the exhibit? Kevin. Sure. Lisa. Are you interested in the pyramids? Kevin. This is my fine arts credit graduation. Lisa. My major is anthropology and with an emphasis in archaeology. What's your major? Kevin. Energy systems, the physics of electron and magnetic energy. Lisa. Meet me tomorrow in front of the museum at noon. Kevin. Sure. Interior dining room. Kevin is at the dining table where he lives with a co-ed house off campus run by an old hippie couple called Father John and his wife Miranda, who only serve vegetarian meals. Buddy, Norman, Eve, Elaine, Chan, Peter, Sherry, and Jan live here and are at the dining table. Kevin under his breath, vegetables. Another plate is passed to him. Kevin under his breath, bean sprouts. Father John, I just want to remind everybody to pay their share of rent. Everyone groans. Father John, Kevin, we missed you this morning. Kevin, I went to the mountain. Porch at night. Father John approaches Kevin, who is sitting on the porch. Father John, what is disturbing you? Kevin, Father John, what's troubling me is I have this vision and I'm holding a sword fighting an enemy. Father John, this is a test. The sword is a symbol. You must learn how to transform the power. Kevin, yeah. Father John, it is very good that you go to this mountain. Kevin, bedroom at night. Kevin in his bed staring out the window at the stars, dissolved to Stone Mountain, granite boulder. Kevin is sitting on the large granite boulder at the base of the mountain, Stone Mountain. He rubs his eyes to refocus. Kevin, frustrated, strikes the boulder with his fist. He then jumps up off the boulder and exits through the woods. Exterior museum day. Kevin meets Lisa in front of the museum. Lisa, I'm glad you could make it. Kevin, are you kidding? I wouldn't miss seeing you. Lisa, let's enjoy the exhibit. Interior of the museum. Kevin and Lisa are walking through the Egyptian exhibit. Lisa, so what's your passion in life? Kevin, energy. They look at some old gold artifacts and then approach a copy of Cheops, a leathery brown mummy that is not wrapped in the traditional style but standing like a statue holding a long staff that goes to the ground and has a circular curve at the end. Lisa, he's 3,500 years old and the builder of the first pyramid. Kevin, looks pretty bad. As Kevin and Lisa approach a copy of the mummy of Tutankhamun, special effects clouds begin to surround the mummy. Dissolve to the golden tree set day. Kevin is on the golden tree set again. We see the Tutankhamun mummy come alive. Tutankhamun tosses his wand through, which spins through the air as the sword did. Kevin catches the wand and looks at it with wonder. Interior Museum Day. Lisa shakes Kevin. What happened? Are you okay? Kevin, yes, I'm okay. Look, I've got to see Professor Henry. Come on. Interior Professor Henry office day. Kevin and Lisa in a meeting with Professor Henry. Kevin, we still don't know how the pyramids were built. Professor Henry, that's right. Kevin, there are theories, but we actually don't know for sure, right? Professor Henry, right. Kevin, are there any books on metal analysis? Professor Henry, my professor did his doctoral dissertation on the very subject. It may still be in the library. Kevin, what's his name? Professor Henry, look under Dr. Jason Miller. Kevin, thanks. Kevin rushes out with Lisa behind him. Professor Henry, did you attend the exhibit? Interior library stacks. Kevin is looking through the stacks with Lisa. Kevin, let's see. LLM Marcus Mellon Miller. Lisa, it looks old. Well, if he was Professor Henry's professor, and look how old he is. Interior library. Kevin is checking out the book. Lisa, what's going on? Kevin writes it down, his phone number. I need to work on this. Here's my number. Call me in a few days. I won't be in class. Interior the bedroom at night. Kevin is poring over the book, making notes. Elaine, Father John said you wanted to ask me something. Kevin, do you have casting equipment? Elaine, yes. Kevin, can I use your studio? Elaine, sure, for what? Kevin, I need to cast something. Interior the sculpture studio. Kevin makes some notes from the book. He begins measuring a block of wax. Kevin uses tools to sculpt the wax. Kevin completes a wax model of Tutankhamun's wand. He measures the gold from his ring. Then he measures iron to be mixed in with the gold to form the alloy. Kevin then melts the metals and pours it into the mold. Finally, ends with a replica of Tutankhamun's wand. Kevin puts a leather strap onto the wand and hangs it over his shoulder. Exterior mountain, stone mountain, granite boulder. Kevin is on the boulder. Kevin takes out the wand and walks around. He strikes the rock with the wand. Kevin falls as the rock rumbles and then floats weightless into the air. Kevin strikes the rock again and it takes off as if an engine has been igniting, leaving the city in a blur. He begins approaching skyscrapers in New York and starts maneuvering to miss them. Two helicopters fly in for a closer look. Kevin maneuvers away from them. He strikes the rock again and takes off in another direction. Exterior Edwards Air Force Base. Two guards are in the radar room. Guard 1. We have a UFO past security point. Identify yourself. Guard 2. Dispatch fighter squadron. Red alert. Exterior Edwards Air Force Base radar room. Kevin is on the rock flying over the military facility. Two fighter jets buzz past him. A third pulls alongside of him, keeping pace. Kevin hits the rock again with the wand and takes off, moving upward, leaving the jet behind. Interior Edwards Air Force Base radar room. Two guards on duty see the USO vanish. Guard, it's gone. Vanished. Continued. Guard 2. Top Gun, identify intruder. Visual report. Interior fighter jet. Fighter pilot. Roger. Visual report. UFO. Intruder identified as a flying rock piloted by a man. Interior Edwards Air Force Base radar room. The two guards look confused. Guard. He has been drinking again. Guard 2. Call him back in. Guard. Report in, Top Gun. You're grounded. Exterior outer space night. The Rock and Kevin has settled into an orbit in outer space. He is amazed that he can breathe. The force field that levitated the rock is also holding a bubble of air around it. Kevin walks around frustrated because he has been unable to fully control the rock and can't figure out how to get back down. He sits down in frustration and holds the wand flush to the rock, contemplating it. Then he does this. When he does this, the rock begins to descend. Wipe to interior insert. Newspaper headline. UFO rock rider reported. Exterior South American jungle. Kevin descends into a primitive tribe in the Amazon. The tribesmen spot him and call together a group. They bring food and put it in front of the rock. Kevin brings the rock all the way to the ground and begins eating the food. The tribesmen in the village group are very happy. Kevin then notices that they have shrunken heads hanging from their waists and they are sharpening their spears. He jumps on the rock and escapes. Exterior ocean. Kevin is cruising over the ocean. He follows some whales that are frolicking in the ocean. Kevin takes off. Interior dining room. The group is eating. Father John says, "Has anyone seen Kevin? Exterior Athens, Greece, Parthenon at night." Kevin cruises over Athens. Kevin then descends into the interior of the Parthenon, lands, and goes to sleep. Interior dining room night. Father John is talking on the phone. Father John, "I'm sorry, Lisa. Kevin has disappeared." Exterior Athens, Parthenon. Two guards spot Kevin and angrily start running toward the rock. Interior Athens, Greece, Parthenon. Kevin is awakened by the guards and takes off. Exterior day, Egypt. Kevin passes over the pyramids. Exterior Egypt. Kevin passes and stops in front of the Sphinx. Kevin says to the Sphinx, "Pretty good secret, old man." Kevin takes off again. Exterior Stone Mountain, granite boulder. Kevin descends, putting the rock in the same place at the base of Stone Mountain. Exterior car, Stone Mountain day. Kevin speeds off. Interior classroom. Kevin walks into at the end of the class. Professor Henry. Class dismissed. Lisa, "Where have you been?" Kevin, "You have to come with me." Lisa, "Where?" Kevin, "Let's go to a restaurant." Interior restaurant day. Kevin has been telling Lisa about his adventure. Continue. Lisa, "It's pretty incredible." Kevin, "You want to ride?" Exterior Stone Mountain, granite boulder. Kevin and Lisa climb onto the rock. And Kevin, "Here goes." Kevin flies Lisa to his house. Exterior house, garage night. Kevin lands in front of the garage. He opens the door and settles the rock inside. Interior house, garage night. Lisa, "I can't believe this." Kevin, "Will you help me?" Lisa, "Sure, but how did you discover this?" Kevin, "When I saw the wand at the exhibit." Lisa, "What's the mechanism?" Kevin, "The right combination of metals." Lisa, I think I understand." Kevin, "It's primitive, but there must be an advanced quantum form of this energy." Lisa, "I see." Kevin, "We could use it to disarm the world with some more of these and my friends." Lisa, "That's a good idea." Interior house, hall night. Kevin and Lisa enter and see Father John. Father John, "Kevin, where have you been?" Kevin, "It's a long story, Father John. I'd like to tell everyone." Father John, "I'll call everyone. I see you found him." Lisa, "Yes." Father John, meeting room, everyone. Kevin, "This is great." To Lisa. Father John, "I forgot to pick up Miranda. I will return shortly." Interior, the meeting room. The room is filled with all the young people that live in the house, with the exception of Norman, Buddy, Father John, and Miranda. Kevin stands in front of everyone. Kevin, "Where's Buddy and Norman?" Continued. Eve, "I see them coming down the driveway." Kevin turns and strikes a granite rock at the corner of the huge fireplace in the meeting room. It loosens itself and floats. The group goes, "Ah!" Exterior house driveway. Buddy, we've got to throw out those old vegetables before the run to the market tomorrow. Norman, we might as well get it done now. Buddy, I hope Kevin gets back. Exterior house garage night. Buddy and Norman open the doors of the garage and see the huge rock. Buddy, awesome. Interior of the meeting room. Kevin is standing next to the floating rock when Buddy and Norman burst in. Buddy and Norman, there's a huge rock in the... Kevin, I know. Buddy and Norman sit down amazed at the floating rock. You're the rock rider. Buddy, you're the rock rider. Kevin, yes, and we'll all be rock riders. Everyone looks anxious. Kevin puts his hand on the force field of the floating rock. Kevin, I've discovered the energy force of the new age. Kevin holds the wand flush to the rock and it deactivates and floats down to the floor. Kevin to Norman, come and lift it. Norman goes over to the rock and strains trying to lift it. Norman can't, it's too heavy. Kevin strikes the rock again and it floats weightless. Kevin, I want to rid the planet of nuclear bombs using this force. Norman, how? Kevin, I need a small group to travel through the planet and locate them. Elaine, then what? We throw them into the deep space. Any volunteers? Lisa, I want to go. Buddy, count me in. Norman, me too. Kevin, what about you, Elaine? Elaine, I wouldn't miss this for anything. Kevin, everyone else will stay at the house under a protective force field. Buddy, bring me a pitcher of water. Buddy leaves to get the water. Kevin, the only thing that can pass through the field is something on the same vibrational level. Buddy returns with a pitcher of water. Kevin, now watch. Kevin pours the water over the floating rock. It flows like a bubble, showing the boundaries of the force field. This is just a small force field. I can increase it to include the whole house. Interior van at night. Father John is returning with Miranda. He's whistling a tune while driving. Interior of the meeting room. Kevin strikes the floating rock again. Exterior driveway of the house at night. Father John and Miranda are slowly turned into the driveway upon returning to the house and crashes into the force field. Interior of the meeting room. They hear the noise of the crash. Buddy to Norman, what was that? Everyone rushes to the window to see what happened. Norman, Father John just ran into the force field. Kevin, is he hurt? Norman, no, just a fender bender. Kevin, I'll deactivate the field so he can get in. Kevin holds his wand steady to the rock as it slowly falls to the ground. Exterior van night. Father John looks confused as he starts the van again. Kevin in the meeting room. Kevin, is he in? Exterior of the driveway of the house. The van lurches forward several times as Father John comes down the driveway. Interior of the meeting room. Everyone's still at the window. Buddy, yeah, he made it in. Kevin strikes a rock, activating the force field around the house. Kevin, we need more gold. Lisa, I have a gold ring. Lisa goes up to Kevin and gives him her gold ring. Lisa thinks. They also take off her gold earrings. Others volunteer their gold jewelry. Kevin and Lisa go around the room collecting. They then put it in a pile in front of the room. Kevin looks at it. Kevin, looks like enough. Father John and Miranda enter the meeting room. Father John, what's going on, kids? Kevin, Lisa, explain. Lisa, sure. Kevin, let's go. Interior of the sculpture studio night montage. Young men mixing plaster. Kevin directing them. Kevin taking the wand that hangs over his shoulder with the leather strap. He removes the strap and places the wand in the wet plaster. Kevin checks to see if it's dry and then gives the okay. More plaster is poured over the wand. They wait for it to dry. Lisa enters with Father John, some of the girls, refreshments, and the radio. They start like making a party. Lisa, Father John understands everything. Kevin smiles. Father John, this is wonderful. A party and the music starts, creating a music video as they continue to make the wands. Kevin checks to see if the plaster's dry. He gives the okay and the mold is open, they now have a perfect mold to pour wax in. It is then they put it back together. Lisa is attending the pot with the melted wax. She supervises it being poured in. Kevin opens the mold, takes out the wax model, then indicates he is ready for more hot wax. Lisa brings the pot over and supervises Buddy and Norman pouring the wax. The mold is open. A second model is taken. Lisa takes Lisa at the wax pot. Kevin taking out the third wax model. Buddy and Norman pouring the fourth. Kevin and Lisa opening the mold together and taking out the fourth last wax model. Exterior window of the house next door. Phyllis, the woman from the next door at the window in hair curlers. Phyllis, what's going on next door, Harry? Should I call the police? Interior of the house next door. Harry's in bed. It's kids having a party. Go back to sleep, Phyllis. Interior of the sculpture studio. The party continues. More plaster is mixed. It is poured into molds with the wax models in them. Kevin's mixing the molten metal, dropping in the gold jewelry as he weighs it, and checks the book sitting next to the melting metal and fire. Lisa checks to see if it's dry, indicates to Kevin it is. Kevin, Norman, about to lift a pot of molten metal to pour the molds. They pour the last mold. They break open the molds and take out the metal wands. Hammers breaking off the metal vent rods. Kevin collects the rods. These throws them into the melting pot and puts in some more chunks of iron to change the ratio of metals to prevent the discovery of the formula. Kevin turns the melting pot off so the leftover metal will cool. They now polish the wands. Exterior path from the sculpture studio to the house. The women look like ancient maidens and the men like warriors as they return to the house with the finished wands. Interior Kevin's bedroom. Kevin is fast asleep with Lisa in his arms. We see the finished wands on the nightstand next to the bed. Interior Buddy and Norman's shared room. Buddy is snoring in the top bunk. Norman restlessly tries to get some sleep in the bottom bunk with all of Buddy's snoring going on. We see the finished wands hanging from each bunk. Interior Elaine's. We see Elaine slumbering with her wand in her hand. Exterior house next door. Phyllis from next door is peering at the house through the bushes in the garden. Harry catches her. Harry, what are you doing, Phyllis? Phyllis, I just know something strange is going on next door. I haven't seen anyone all day, Harry. Harry, get out of the bushes, Phyllis, and leave the neighbors alone. They're fine people. Exterior house dusk. There is a sunset over the house. Interior Father John's bedroom dusk. Father John opens his eyes and jumps out of bed. Exterior of the back porch. Father John walks out to breathe the fresh air. Father John sees Phyllis, the woman next door, and waves. Father John, hello. Exterior house door dusk. Phyllis is seen by Father John. She waves and smiles shyly, having been caught spying. Her husband walks up, catching her. Man, are you still out there? Now get inside and leave the neighbors alone. Interior, Father John's walking down the hall, knocking on the doors. Father John, wake up. Father John walks to another door. Yes, time to get up. Father John has a funny laugh to himself, thinks about it, what he just said. He goes to Norman Buddy's room. Get up, you rascals. Interior of the house dining room. Everyone is eating breakfast as Buddy and Norman rush in last. Kevin is expecting the wand and eating breakfast. Norman, sorry we're late. Yeah, Buddy, yeah. They take their seats at the table. Kevin looks at them. Kevin, I hope your timing is better in precision flying. Buddy, if we are warriors now, who are we warriors for? Kevin, world peace. Lisa, let's take an oath to protect mankind and the planet from harm. Kevin, okay, an oath as Rock Riders of the Atomic Order. Norman, why? Why don't you knight us? Buddy, great idea. Kevin, sure, if you would like that. Kevin turns to Father John. Father John, would you do us the honor? Father John, yes. Kevin hands him the wand and kneels before him. A small ceremony takes place where Father John knights Kevin, Lisa, Lane, Buddy, and Norman. Father John, I knight you, the Rock Riders of the Atomic Order, to protect mankind and the planet, all of you. Father John touches each of them on the shoulder then hands him his wand. Kevin, with the book, and the group leaves the dining room to go to the garage where the 5 of them will travel on the rock to Stone Mountain, where Lisa, Buddy, Elaine, and Norman can get their own rocks to fly on. Exterior garage night. The group follows to the garage. Kevin opens the doors and the 5 of them get onto the rock. Kevin slowly maneuvers the rock out of the garage. Peace, my children, and return safely, Father John. They wave goodbye and take off over the house. Exterior of the house next door. Phyllis at the window sees the rock take off from the garage with the Rock Riders on it. Phyllis, Harry, Harry! Phyllis leaves the window. We hear from the darkness, Harry, go to sleep, Phyllis. Exterior POV, rock night. They are traveling over houses and the street lights on the way to Stone Mountain. The mountain grows larger as they quickly arrive. Exterior POV of rock night. Kevin arrives on top of Stone Mountain. Kevin maneuvers around to a large rock. Buddy jumps onto the large rock. Buddy strikes the rock with his wand and it takes off. Kevin maneuvers around to another large rock. Norman drops off on the Norman strikes it and takes off. Kevin maneuvers to a rock for Elaine. She jumps on her large rock too. Kevin then maneuvers to a rock for Lisa. Lisa commands hers just like the others. Kevin then takes off and joins them in the air. Exterior sky at Stone Mountain. They're all flying around getting their first feeling of freedom of flight. Kevin, okay, let's see if we can fly in formation. Kevin takes off. Each one pulls up behind him, forming a perfect line. Kevin, now change direction like this. Kevin turns at a 90-degree angle. Each one follows the straight line in which each one was behind the other is now traveling at a 90-degree angle. They are now moving in a line beside one another. Kevin, now up close. Now close up the gaps. They all follow, closing up the gaps. Kevin, now this is how you stop. You strike the front of your rock. Kevin indicates this. Okay, stop. They all stop perfectly on the mark, retaining the straight line. Kevin, okay, come around and form a circle. They follow, forming a perfect circle with the odd-shaped rocks. There is a look of joy on their face as they master this new power. Kevin, okay, to maneuver up, strike the rock on top, and to come down, you hold the wand flush to the rock. Kevin looks around. Does everyone understand? They respond, yes. Kevin, okay, let's go to the stratosphere. Kevin strikes the rock hard and immediately disappears upward. The others follow suit. They disappear quickly as each strike their rock, taking off at a tremendous speed. Buddy is the last one to go. Exterior from Buddy's rock. Buddy holds on to for dear life as the rock moves at a tremendous speed and Earth receives cooling. Whoa, Buddy, this is scary. Exterior stratosphere. The group of Rock Riders has assembled in the stratosphere except for Buddy, who passes them quickly. Norman, that was Buddy. Kevin, don't worry, he'll find us. Lisa, look at the Earth, the Americas, the Europe. They're all one continuous landmass. Kevin, the only dividing lines that exist between countries are those that were placed in your mind. Norman, yeah, you're right. It's like Earth is just one big planet. I can see it now. Kevin, good, you're learning fast. Elaine, here comes Buddy. Buddy finally joins the group. Buddy, I'm sorry, almost got to the moon. Kevin, okay, let's make camp in the Amazon jungle. They all hold their wands flush to the rock and begin descending back to Earth. Exterior sky over Amazon jungle. They are flying over the lush jungle. They pass over a panther lounging in a tree that roars at them. Norman roars back. They see monkeys scurrying through the trees. They approach a small island in the middle of a large lake from the animals. Kevin, this looks safe. Exterior small island. They sit down, making a circle of their rocks. Buddy, this is a great place. I want to explore. Kevin, rest. Norman, let's eat. Elaine, good idea. They break out food and snacks. Kevin pulls the book out. I'm going to bury this here for safekeeping. Interior of the house dining room. The group that stayed behind is eating. Eve, I wonder where they are now. Father John, don't worry, my child. I feel a strong vibration that everything is fine. The interior of the Pentagon headquarters, 2 CIA agents and a general having a secret meeting. Flanders, Horton, and General Sams. Flanders, here's a composite drawing of him. General Sams, where did this come from? Horton, we had an artist sit down with the top guns that had a visual contact when he passed over Edwards. General Sams, what do you think he's up to? Flanders, I don't know. We may get a better idea next time he surfaces. General Sams, this is a powerful force. We want to get hold of it first. Horton, we understand. General Sams, the president wants action fast. Flanders, we've got everything working. Exterior small island in the Amazon. Kevin wakes up, followed by Lisa, then Elaine. Buddy and Norman are still asleep. Kevin, looks like the explorers needed a little extra rest. Lisa and Kevin go on a short way out of sight. Kevin bangs a tin plate with his pack to wake up Buddy and Norman. Buddy, we're ready to go, jumps up. Norman sits up rubbing his eyes. Where? Kevin starts walking to the water. Wash up. The guys follow Kevin to the water. Edge of the water, Amazon Island. Kevin, Buddy, and Norman washing their face, cowboy style at the edge of the lake. Where are we going tonight? Kevin, the west. Norman, what's the plan? B-52s and silos, Kevin says. Buddy, if we hit a silo, won't it blow up? Kevin, can't. It's only activated by presidential order. Norman, right. They return to the rocks. Exterior of the rocks, Amazon. Kevin, Buddy, and Norman are eating when Lisa and Elaine return. Lisa sits down next to Kevin and starts eating. Lisa, it's beautiful here. Kevin, miss the city? Lisa, no. Kevin, what about you, Elaine? Elaine looks up with a question look while Buddy and Norman look up caught with their mouths full of granola. Kevin, could you live here? Elaine, I don't know about that. Elaine looks at Buddy and Norman. Kevin, time to go. They all get on the rocks and take off. Point of view of the rocks in the western sky. The group is following Kevin in a V-shaped formation. Kevin in the front, Lisa and Elaine next, Buddy and Norman on the tips of the wing formation. They're going very fast but slow down as they reach the west. They're passing over vast plains, past large rock plateaus in the desert. Kevin indicates for the group to go higher to get a better vantage point to search from. The group follows. From the higher vantage point, they search the sky looking for a B-52. Buddy spots a plane. Kevin responds, no. They see it is a commercial carrier by all the window lights. They search some more. An ominous dark black plane approaches the sky. Lisa spots it, even though it's hard to see. They slowly go into a dive pattern toward the B-52 carrying atomic bombs. Exterior B-52. They approach the B-52 from behind. Kevin indicates to Lisa to close in on both sides of the plane's fuselage. Elaine goes in first. B-52. There's a loud thump as Elaine's force field makes contact with the left side of the plane. Pilot, did you hear that? Co-pilot, yeah. Pilot, check the engines. Exterior B-52. Lisa goes in for the right side fuselage. There's a second bump on Lisa's force field, the contact. Pilot, how are the engines? Co-pilot, they're okay. Navigate. Pilot, Navigator, turbulence report. Navigator, I felt it, but radar indicates no turbulence for 500 miles. Kevin indicates to Norman Buddy to go under the wings to support the plane. When they do this, the force field knocks the engines out. B-52, there's a loud noise as the jet engines bend after coming into contact with the force field under the wing. Co-pilot, something just took out the engines. Pilot, what's going on? Pilot begins pulling controls for a crash landing. The plane doesn't respond. Pilot, we're flying without engines. Exterior, Kevin moves his rock over the front of the plane and begins forcing the plane gently down. B-52, the pilot, co-pilot, and navigator can only see the bottom of Kevin Rock's. Pilot, what the? They're descending, slightly jarred around in the cockpit as the plane as it descends. B-52 on desert floor. The Rock Riders come to a stop on the desert floor, still holding the B-52 a few feet in the air. The B-52 on the desert floor, the crew feels a bump as they stop. On the desert floor, Kevin moves his rock in front of where the crew can see him. Kevin motions for the crew to get out of the plane. The pilot, let's get out of this crate. They scramble out of the cockpit. Exterior, the B-52 on the desert floor. We see the door open and a survival pack is pushed out the door and falls onto the ground. The pilot, co-pilot, now jump a few feet from the plane to the desert floor. They look bewildered as they look up and see the B-52 being supported by the rocks. The B-52. Kevin moves his rock under the front of the plane where the others can see him. He motions and they start lifting the plane into outer space. B-52. We see the Earth recede as the plane goes higher into the outer space. Kevin gives the signal. The Rock Riders disengage by stopping their rocks. The plane continues moving. We see the B-52 disappear into deep space. They descend again to the west. Exterior, desert floor. We see the pilot, co-pilot, and navigator next to the survival pack that has been opened. Pilot speaking on a portable radio. Pilot, that's right. We need a helicopter pickup. Exterior, the western sky. The Rock Riders spot another B-52 and begin to descend upon it. We see the second pilot startled, co-pilot startled out of the cockpit. Staring at exterior, the door of the second B-52. We see the door open, the survival pack pushed out. The second pilot, co-pilot, navigator jump onto the desert floor. Kevin gives the signal. B-52 in outer space. Kevin gives the signal to disengage. The second B-52 continues into outer space. We see it quickly disappear into deep space. The Rock Riders descend again. The western sky, the Rock Riders spot a third. They begin to descend. All we see is the third survival pack hit the desert floor. We see just the boots of the third pilot, co-pilot, navigator hitting the desert floor. We see the third B-52 disappear into deep space. Exterior, the Rock Riders are cruising and spot a silo. They start descending on their target. Exterior, a silo in the western sky. The Rock Riders are lined up on one side of the silo's cement dome. They push the dome completely off. Interior monitor stationed in the silo of the western sky. The two Air Force men monitoring the silo are jarred, hearing the screeches of the cement dome coming off. Air Force Man 1. What the? Exterior of the silo, the Rock Riders descend into the open silo. Interior of the monitor station silo. The Rock Riders pass the Air Force monitor's window as they get into place to lift the rocket out. Air Force Man, Central Control. Interior of the silo of the western sky. The Rock Riders have been lifting the rocket out of the silo. Central Control at night. Air Force General in the Central Control is on the phone. A red light blinking on the board where the silo is. The General, what? Repeat that? Interior of the monitor station in the western sky. We see the missiles passing in front of us on the monitor window as he talks. They are stealing the missile, Air Force Man 2. Silo in the western sky. We see the missile coming out of the silo, lifted by the Rock Riders. The Earth recedes as they move into outer space with the missile. The Rock Riders disengage from the missile. They see the missile disappear into deep space. They descend. Exterior Amazon Island. The Rock Riders are returned to their island retreat. Interior Pentagon. Flanders, Horton, and General Sams meet again. Flanders, they surfaced again. General, they? Horton, yes sir, there's 5 of them now. Flanders, sir, we have a real clear picture of what their intentions are. General Sams looks intently at Flanders and Horton. Horton, they intercepted 3 of our B-52s and 1 missile silo, all carrying nuclear payloads. General Sams, how? They transported them into deep space. Horton, the President was notified on each occurrence. General Sams, no wonder he was so hot about me getting over here ASAP. Flanders, we've got composite drawings of the interlopers from the cruise. They're in the next room for interrogation. General Sams, let's go. Interior of the Pentagon meeting room. Flanders, Horton, and General Sams walking into the meeting room where the crews of the B-52s and the silo monitors have been flown to the Pentagon. Continue. Flanders, I know everyone is tired, but we have to work fast. Flanders holds up a composite drawing of Kevin. First pilot, he's the leader. Horton, what about the others? Second navigator, there were 4 others. General Sams, were they alien or Russian? Third pilot, they didn't have antennas. All the crews acknowledged this. General Sams, what was the power source making these rocks fly? First pilot, they had some kind of wand. Flanders, can you draw it? First pilot, sure. First pilot roughly draws a wand as Flanders and General Sams watch. Flanders, looks Egyptian. General Sams, thanks, men. Interior of the Pentagon. Flanders, Horton, and General Sams are walking at a quick pace. General Sams, I want every expert on Egypt flown in immediately. Interior of the dining room. Miranda brings in some food. We can see through a side door in the dining room in the hall where the rock from the fireplace is floating. The others living in the house are also eating. Eve, Chan, Peter, Sherry, and Jan. Miranda, is there any news of them? Father John opens the paper, quickly looks through several pages. Father John, there's no reports in the paper of them. Eve, I'm getting tired of being cooped up here. Chan, what if we run out of food before they get back? Jan, my friends think I'm on restriction because I can only talk on the phone. Father John looks at everyone trying to come up with an answer. Father John, Kevin will be back soon, I'm sure. Just as Father John says the word sure, there's a loud thump and everyone turns to see the rock that is holding the force field drops 5 inches. Miranda, I will teach you girls how to make shirts from cloth. Father John, yes, I will need help from the men in the garden. Interior Professor's office. A professor is asked to accompany 2 army men. He gets up from his desk and leaves with them. Interior Museum Hall. 2 men are walking through a hall with Egyptian artifacts. They come into a door marked Curator. Interior Museum Curator's office. The 2 army officers ask the curator to come with him. He gets up from his desk and leaves. Interior Professor Henry's office. 2 army officers ask the professor to come with them. He gets up from his desk and leaves. Exterior Washington. Aerial view from the plane flying over the Pentagon. Washington Airport Day. We see 3 planes land. Interior Pentagon office. Flanders, Horton, and General Sams are meeting with the 3 professors. Flanders, gentlemen, I must apologize for calling you to a meeting on such short notice. First professor, this is outrageous. It's tantamount to kidnapping. General Sams, this is top priority. Our national security is at stake. Flanders, Horton, hold up that picture. Horton holds up the picture of the wand. Curator, well, that's the wand of Tutankhamun. General Sams, does it have any special power? Curator, there are many theories of Egyptians having special powers. Flanders, alright, does anyone recognize the people in this drawing? Horton slowly goes through the picture, all the pictures. Professor Henry does not respond. Flanders, I'll go through them one more time. bear in mind that our national security is at stake. Horton holds up the picture of Kevin. Professor Henry, I think that's a student of mine. Horton holds up Lisa's picture. Professor Henry, that may be his girlfriend. General Sams, thank you, men. Professor, we need to talk to you privately. The curator and the first professor are escorted out. Now, General Sams, now, Professor, tell me their full names. Well, Kevin Sanders and Lisa Morgan. Horton begins keying in their names into a computer so we can intercept them there in your class. Professor Henry, well, no, they haven't attended class for several days. Anything unusual happened before they stopped? Professor Henry, Kevin asked for a book on metal analysis. General Sams, what kind? Egyptian metal analysis. Flanders, where can we get a copy of it? Professor Henry, I don't think that's possible. I've referred him to an unpublished research dissertation. The men look puzzled at each other. Flanders, can you recall the research? Professor Henry, I didn't do the research. Thanks, Professor. Please remember to say nothing of this meeting. Professor Henry, could you just tell me what they've done? General Sams, they're leaders of a small group that are knocking out our nuclear capabilities. Horton reports on the computer. Nothing unusual on the man or the woman. All we have is their addresses. Flanders, okay, that's where we check next. General Sams, I'll stay here. Report to me at the White House. Professor, we'll escort you back to Atlanta. Exterior house garden. Father John, Chan, and Peter are digging in the garden. Interior of the house, meeting room. Miranda, Eve, Sherry, and Jan are making shirts. Eve holds up the shirt and she has just finished to show Miranda. Miranda, very nice. We will soon have one for everyone. There's a loud thump from the rock that is holding the force field. We see it drop in the hall another 5 inches. Exterior of Lisa's apartment, daytime. Horton is speaking with her landlady. The door shuts and he returns to report to Flanders. Horton, she hasn't seen her in 2 days. Flanders, okay, it's almost dark. Let's check his place out. Exterior of the Amazon island. Kevin, Lisa, Elaine, Buddy, and Norman are all up and just finishing breakfast. Kevin wipes his mouth off as he finishes eating. We're going to Russia tonight. Exterior, Russian fields dust. The Rock Riders fly over some Russian peasants working in the field with primitive tractors. Exterior, official car night. Flanders, Horton drive past the house. Horton, that's some place. Flanders, park out of sight. Horton turns to a street just past the house. Exterior, official car night. The car comes to the top of a side street past the house. Flanders and Horton get out and begin sneaking up to the house. Edge of the house, yard night. Flanders and Horton have gotten to the edge of the yard behind some bushes and run into the force field. Horton, there's some kind of force field here. Horton quickly goes down the side and then returns to Flanders. Horton, there's no opening. Flanders, let's go around back and observe. Exterior, Russian mountain range. The Rock Riders travel over the mountains. Buddy, I can smell silos coming up soon. As they pass over a ridge on the other side of the mountain, they come upon a valley where there are literally hundreds of silos. Norman, oh my God. Rock Riders come to a stop overlooking the valley. Elaine, it will take 6 months to clear this place out. Lisa, we need to appeal to the governments to disarm voluntarily. Buddy, yeah, it's just a matter of time before we clear all this out. Norman, and they can't hold a candle to our force fields. Kevin, let's put a Russian sub up on the steps of the Kremlin. Buddy, where do we find one? Kevin, underwater. Elaine looks at Lisa, conveying fear. Lisa, Kevin, why don't you go back to the house and let Chan and Peter take mine and Elaine's places when you go underwater? Kevin, okay. Interior meeting room. Father John, Chan, and Peter walk in. Miranda goes to Father John with his shirt. Miranda, this is for you. Father John, thank you. This is very nice. Sherry, we have one for everyone. Jan, Peter, how do you like this one? Peter, nice. Jan, it's yours. Eve, this one is for Kevin, and this one is for Buddy. And Miranda, one for Norman. Sherry looks at Chan. Sherry, here's yours, and Eve, try them on. Exterior back of the house night. Flanders and Horton are in the back of the house. They have a radio phone. Flanders, General Sams, we can't get past the force field. General Sams says something in the other end of the phone. Flanders, we'll report anything unusual. The rock riders arrive in the sky and land in the back of the house. They get off their rocks and enter the house. Horton, look at that. Flanders looks in disbelief. This is the first time he has actually seen them. Interior of the meeting room. Father John, Chan, and Peter have put on their shirts and are showing off. Father John, very nice. Here we hear the back door open. Father John turns to see Kevin, Elaine, Buddy, Norman enter. Everyone is elated. Father John, Kevin, good you're home. Kevin, just briefly. Kevin gets everyone to quiet down. Kevin says, I need Chan and Peter to take Lisa and Elaine's place. And Chan says, great. Peter, we're ready. We're going underwater to get a Russian sub. Lisa and Chan hand them their wands. Kevin is looking at them. Kevin, nice threads. Eve, this one's for you and this one's for Buddy. Norman looks up feeling left out. Miranda, this one's for you, Norman. Kevin, great. We need a change. Kevin starts changing his shirt. Norman and Buddy follow. They throw their old short shirts aside. Kevin, let's go. Continued. He reaches over to Lisa and gives her a kiss goodbye. They exit the meeting room. Back of the house. Flanders and Horton are watching as Kevin, Buddy, and Chan and Peter get on their rocks and take off in the sky. Flanders, get this place surrounded by agents. Exterior sky over the ocean. We see Kevin, Buddy, Chan, Peter traveling over the ocean. Kevin gives the signal and gives the dive into the ocean first. The others follow, making cannonball splashes as the rocks with their force fields enter the water. Exterior night. Many agents begin arriving surrounding the house. Interior meeting room. Lisa has been talking to the group reporting their exploits. And then we threw each one into deep space. Eve, you mean like out there into the stars? Eve looks out the window and sees all the agents. Eve, oh my God. Father John, what is it, child? Eve, I think we've been discovered. They all look out the window and see the house is surrounded by agents leaning on the force field. They back away from the window, not knowing what to do. Miranda, Father John, you forgot to tell Kevin the rock has dropped. There is a loud thump. There is a loud crash. Exterior of the house, the force field. The agents that were leaning on the force field fall forward to the ground. Meeting room. Everyone in the room turns to the hall and sees that the rock that held the force field has lost all its power and is sitting on the floor. Exterior, back of the house, night. Flanders talking to the radio. Flanders, okay men, let's go in and get them. Interior house, hall, front door. The door is busted down and the agents stream in, chasing the women as they try to escape out the back door. They are met by Flanders and several other agents as they open the back door. Flanders, search upstairs. Horton enters. There's a metal shop or something in the back. You better take a look at it. Agent, reporting from the stairs. Nothing upstairs, sir. Flanders, take everyone upstairs and hold them there. Interior of the sculpture studio, night. Flanders and Horton are looking through the broken plaster molds. Flanders sees the melting pot with some cooled metal in the bottom. He takes a knife and carves some out of the metal and puts it into a plastic bag and gives it to the agent. Flanders, get this analyzed, General Sams, to me. Flanders thinks a second and then directs several agents to pick up the plaster too. Take the whole thing to the lab in Washington and take these molds. Horton, good idea. Flanders, let's interrogate the girl. Exterior underwater day. The Rock Riders approach a Russian sub. We see the Russian insignia as they pass by. The Rock Riders begin taking positions to lift the sub out of the water. Interior Russian sub. Everyone is busy in the control room. There are bumping noise inside the sub as the Rock Riders take their position. Captain in Russian. What was that noise? Sonar man. Nothing is showing up. Another bump is heard and felt in the sub. The captain looks at the sonar man. Captain in Russian. Where is this coming from? Sonar in Russian. There is no pattern. It must be right next to us. Exterior underwater. Kevin's rock comes next to the sub. Kevin gives the signal to lift the sub out of the water. Interior Russian sub. The captain sees the depth gauge going out of control as they are lifted up by the Rock Riders. The men inside feel as if they are on an elevator. Exterior ocean day. The surface of the ocean breaks as the Rock Riders lift the sub out of the water into the air to be carried to Russia. Interior Russia sub. The captain rushes to the periscope to see what's going on. All he can see is sky. The captain in Russian, open the hatch. The men try to open the hatch, but the wind resistance prevents its opening. They report to the captain. The captain goes to the radio, but all he can get is static. They all settle in for the ride. Exterior sky over the ocean. We see the sub being carried through the sky by the Rock Riders. Exterior sky over the Kremlin. The Rock Riders approach the Kremlin with the sub. Exterior Kremlin. The Rock Riders set the Russian sub down in front of the Kremlin and then take off. Exterior sub in front of the Kremlin that day. The hatch of the sub opens. The captain and his men get out of the sub and they see they are dry docked in front of the Kremlin. They look perplexed and are speaking Russian, trying to understand what has happened. Exterior sky. The Rock Riders are cruising in formation. We have some bargaining to do at the White House. Kevin speeds up. The others follow suit. Exterior. Rock Riders flying over Washington in the daytime. Rock Riders pass over the Potomac, past the Washington Monument to the White House. Exterior White House, the lawn. The Rock Riders land on the lawn. Kevin and the Rock Riders stay on their rocks within the force field as several soldiers approach with rifles pointed at them. As they reach confrontation distance, Kevin shouts, "I want to speak with the president." The soldier radios the request. More soldiers arrive and some tanks take position on the lawn. General Sams approaches. General Sams, state your business. Kevin, I want to speak with the president. General Sams and the soldiers back away. Then he gives a nonverbal signal. The tank fires on the Rock Riders with everything they have. There's a big explosion. The area is filled with smoke. Kevin and the Rock Riders move forward out of the smoke unharmed. General Sams looked frightened at this sight and radios the president. General Sams, he's listening to you on this radio. Communicate your message. Kevin, we demand the immediate disarmament of all nuclear weapons. General Sams, the president said, or what? Kevin, or we will continue operations. General Sams, he wants you to know that the world was almost a cinder today because of your actions. Kevin, why? General Sams, the president says the Russians think we have a secret weapon. Kevin, and? Mr. President, the president says they have threatened war if you intercept any more of their weapons. Kevin looks perplexed. General Sams, the president says, join us, give us the formula, and we'll take care of things. Kevin, the people of Earth still live under a nuclear threat. General Sams, we're holding your friends hostage in the house to convince you. Kevin, I'll be back with more power than you ever dreamed of. Rock Riders take off for the house in Atlanta to save their friends. Exterior sky over the house. The Rock Riders approach the house. They circle around the second floor. They get a good idea of where the people are by looking in the windows. Kevin sees Lisa and the others. She sees him and indicates there are guards. He sees the guards, but they don't see him. They're at the door. Kevin indicates to Lisa to move to the ground, to move the group to the side. The Rock Riders back away. Then Kevin goes in for a direct hit on the second floor of the house where they are being held hostage. The hostage room day. As Kevin comes through the wall and across the room, his force field knocks the soldiers at the door unconscious. Dining room. Soldiers staying downstairs mobilized as noises to go upstairs. Exterior sky over the house. Norman goes in for a direct hit, hitting the middle of the house on the second floor. Second floor hall at the stairs. Norman comes through the wall and knocks down the mobilized soldiers coming up the stairway, blocking the entrance to the second floor. Buddy comes in through the hole made by Norman and waits behind him. Exterior house hostage room. The other Rock Riders move up to the hole made by Kevin to assist in the rescue. Interior hostage room. Kevin sees the girls don't know how to get through the force field onto the rock. He deactivates his rock and goes over to help them. He yells, "Pull them through with your wand." Kevin and Lisa help Elaine and Jane get on Chan's rock, then help Eve and Sherry get on Peter's rock. Interior hall in front of the hostage room. The three soldiers knocked out by the force field recover and start to go into the room. The hostage room. Kevin turns and sees the three soldiers coming in the room. He knocks them out one by one as they come through the door and then grabs Lisa. Kevin, come on. They jump onto the rock. He hits the rock and goes clear through the other side of the house. Interior hall. Norman on rock day. As Norman sees Kevin and Lisa come through, he strikes his rock and comes out the other side of the house. Buddy looks perplexed, staying there. Exterior of the house. Kevin and Lisa on rock day. As they swing above the house, Lisa turns to Kevin. Father John and Miranda are being held in the meeting room. Kevin, hold on. Kevin swings around and crashes into the meeting room of the house on the first floor. As Kevin crashes through the wall, he knocks down Flanders and Horton and separates them from Father John and Miranda, who are huddled in the corner wrapped in a blanket. Kevin helps Miranda onto the rock, grab the wand. Miranda gets on and hugs Lisa. He then holds the wand out for Father John, who grabs it and gets on the rock. "I knew you would come," Father John says. Kevin then takes off out the hole in the meeting room. Sky Day house. The Rock Riders meet in the sky above the house. Kevin, is everybody okay? Buddy. Buddy isn't out yet. Interior hall of the house. Buddy is going up and down the hall, having fun knocking down soldiers with the force field. The soldiers being knocked silly and not knowing any better, come back for more. Kevin shows up on his rock at the hole made by Norman, observes this. Kevin, okay, Buddy. Buddy realizes he's overdone it. Kevin leaves, and Buddy knocks down the soldiers one more time and then leaves. Kevin passes the Rock Riders. Exterior sky. They strike their rocks and follow. Buddy comes up following the group. They go to an island in the Pacific. Pacific Island Day. The Rock Riders land safely on the island. They look around amazed at the blue water and palm trees. Kevin and Lisa walk off for a private talk. Pacific Island Cove. Kevin and Lisa are having a talk. Kevin, how did they get in? Lisa, the rock suddenly lost power. Kevin, I didn't know it could fall out of its dimension. Lisa, how did the plane go? Kevin, it's a stalemate. Almost started a nuclear war. Lisa, what can you do now? Kevin, I need the quantum form of this power. Lisa, what makes you think there is one? Kevin, whoever built the pyramids had this power and they vanished. Lisa, well, they did. Kevin, you can't have this kind of power and vanish. Maybe it was an accelerated, advanced civilization that came here, built the pyramids, and left. Lisa, the star Sirius next to Canis Major to the right of the Milky Way is in all the Egyptian murals. Kevin, I've got to go there. Lisa, it's impossible. It's light years away. Kevin, maybe if I rev this thing up, it can go faster than light. Lisa, what do you mean? Maybe it's just vibes into another dimension to get you there. Lisa, I don't understand. Kevin, can you point me in the right direction? Lisa, I can, but I'm going with you. Kevin, all right. I'll tell Father John we're leaving. Exterior Pacific Island. Kevin throws food packs on the rock. Kevin puts the water canteens in the packs and puts them on the rock. The girls are fussing around and Lisa fussing, kissing her and saying goodbye. Kevin looks at them and says, stay out of trouble. Lisa looks away from the girls to Kevin. We'll build a village, Father John says. Kevin, if we find nothing, we'll be right back. Miranda gives Lisa a heavy blanket. For your journey, Kevin, to Lisa, are you ready? Lisa, ready. They get on the rock, wave goodbye to the family, and take off. Exterior, rock in the sky over the Pacific. Which way? Lisa points. That way. Kevin strikes a rock on the back and they zoom off. He continues striking the rock several times till it really increases in speed. They disappear into space. Exterior of traveling rock in space night. Kevin strikes the rock some more. They seem to be moving very fast but getting nowhere. Exterior, Kevin traveling in space night. Kevin and Lisa are asleep. Kevin wakes up and strikes the back of the rock some more. Lisa wakes up, looks around at the stars, and points. Kevin makes the adjustment. Traveling rock night. Kevin and Lisa are eating food on the rock. Exterior, traveling rock at planet night. Kevin and Lisa are asleep as the rock approaches a large planet. They awake and see the planet. As they approach, they see huge pyramids floating in orbit around the planet. As they get closer, Kevin also has to maneuver through the orbiting pyramids. As they pass inside the orbiting pyramids, two men on futuristic ships in futuristic uniforms escort them down. Interior sky of incredible city. Kevin and Lisa are escorted over the city into a large hall of the palace. Interior hall of the palace. The two escorts set Kevin and Lisa rock down in the large hallway. A woman, Enon, gets off her throne to greet them. Enon, we have been waiting for you a long time. What are your names? Kevin says Kevin and Lisa says Lisa. Enon, beautiful old world names. Kevin, old world. Enon, you call me Enon, Kevin. Enon, yes. We were wondering when you would discover us. Kevin, discover? That's why we left so many clues. We didn't have to. Enon walks over to Kevin and lifts the wand he is holding. Enon, primitive, but alas, it got you here. Enon releases the wand and walks over and sits on her throne. Some guards bring in two chairs for Kevin and Lisa to sit on. Enon, please sit. You've had a long journey. Kevin and Lisa sit down. Lisa, thank you. Enon, how did you discover the power? Kevin, I was studying physics to find new energy systems that are not destructive to the ecology. Yes, we have been aware of the ecology for thousands of years, life for thousands of years. Kevin, well, I saw an Egyptian wand and it came to me in a flash. Enon, one of the many clues we left. Kevin, why did you leave Earth? Enon, there will be plenty of time to tell our history to you, why we left. You must refresh yourselves and rest now. Enon claps her hands and some guards enter. Enon, they will show you to your quarters. Interior of the hallway palace. Kevin and Lisa are walking down the hallway to their quarters. Lisa, I have a funny feeling that we might have trouble leaving. Kevin, once I get the quantum, we're gone. They reach their quarters and the doors open to an elegant room. Kevin and Lisa's quarters in the day. They're greeted by the head maiden, Ilona, and her group of maidens who show them around. Ilona, I hope you approve of the living quarters. Kevin, quite a spread. Lisa, I'll say. They walk out onto the balcony to view the city. Quarters on the balcony. Kevin and Lisa look out on the city. We're pretty high up here. Kevin looking down and around. I can't see the entrance from here. Ilona and her group of maidens call Lisa in to choose some clothes. Ilona, we need your approval of the clothing selected for your stay. Interior, Kevin and Lisa's quarters. Lisa's being shown beautiful dresses. They're also beautiful. I'd like to try them on. Is there a dressing room? Ilona, this way. Lisa is led into a private dressing room. Kevin is left to explore. He finds another room and enters. Kevin's dressing room day. Kevin goes into the room finding a waterfall flowing into a tub. He feels the water and sees that it is quite warm and quickly decides to undress and take a bath. He hangs his wand on the screen along with his clothes. Next we see him in the tub, the waterfall scrubbing and singing. Ilona, with several maidens, enters. Kevin's embarrassed and grabs a towel to cover up. The maidens bring in several sets of futuristic clothes for Kevin to wear. Ilona, we thought you might enjoy something fresh to wear. Kevin, they all look very nice, thank you. The maidens, please turn and leave. They start to take Kevin's old clothes from the screen, and Ilona picks up the wand he has hung on the screen. Kevin starts to jump up but realizes he's naked and sits back down in the water. Kevin, don't take those. Ilona turns to Kevin with a questioning look. It's an old tradition on Earth. Ilona gives Kevin an as you wish look, and the maidens return the clothes, and Ilona returns the wand to the screen, and they exit. Interior, Lisa's dressing room. Lisa is in a Cleopatra-style bath when Kevin walks in wearing his futuristic clothes. Kevin, I don't know if it would be so bad not to be able to leave. Lisa cooing with pleasure in her bath. Lisa, I almost agree. Kevin, you seem to be adjusting rather rapidly here. Lisa, you're quite handsomely dressed. I see you didn't put on your old earth clothes back on. Kevin chuckles at her reply. You're very handsome, Kevy. Now turn around. At that, Lisa can go behind the screen and dress. While dressing, she speaks to Kevin. We're eating with Enon shortly and then taking a tour of the town. Kevin, oh good. Lisa exits from behind the screen wearing a beautiful futuristic gown. Kevin, I say. Lisa, isn't this wonderful? Kevin, of course. Isn't Enon waiting for us? Lisa starts to leave with Kevin. Lisa, yes, I'm ready for some good food. Okay. Exterior, Pacific Island. There are 3 huts under construction. One for the men, one for the women, and one for Father John and Miranda. Buddy is finishing putting the last of some thatch on the roof of one of the bamboo huts. Father John, how is it? Buddy, once I get this last bunch tied, it will be complete. Father John, good, because it looks like it's going to rain. Miranda is cooking under the porch of another cottage, and the Rock Riders are around the camp helping. Buddy, finished. Buddy jumps up and stands under the porch of the cottage next to Norman and Father John as it begins to rain. We finished just in time, Norman says. All of a sudden there's a big cloudburst and it begins to rain very heavily. Things are fine for a second, but then the cottages can no longer keep the rain out and everyone starts getting soaked. Everyone runs for the rocks where they create a force field to get out of the rain. Exterior, Pacific Island on the rocks during the rain. Everyone is under the force field to stay out of the rain, but they are already soaked. Heave, I don't like living like this. Father John, Kevin will return soon. Buddy, I don't know why they didn't hold up well. Father John, we have not failed, only misjudged the environment. Norman, yeah, well, we'll go back and strengthen things when the rain stops and everything will be fine. Interior of the palace. Kevin and Lisa enter with their futuristic clothes on. The room now has a table with futuristic food on it. Enon, I'm glad you weren't too tired to join me. You must be very hungry by now. Kevin and Lisa, yes. They're seated with Enon. Expecting Earth food, Kevin and Lisa don't quite know what to do. Enon starts eating. It's all very edible, Enon. Enon says, you'll enjoy the new taste. Kevin begins to eat and Lisa follows. Kevin, tell us your history. Enon, after we came to Earth and built the pyramids, we left. Lisa, so why did you leave? You couldn't have done so much. Enon, people are like echoes. Whatever sound goes in reverberates out. Kevin, I understand. That still does not explain why you left. Enon, mankind was not ready to use the power yet. Kevin, uh, when then? Enon says, your coming to us is what we have been waiting for. Lisa, it's still bad. Enon, do you feel Earth is ready to give up wars? Kevin, we tried to get rid of the nuclear weapons with this. Kevin holds up his wand. Kevin says, but they were too powerful. That's why we came to find the quantum. Enon, you are very perceptive. I understand why you left and why you were able to see the clues we left behind. Enon reflects for a moment and then claps her hands, and some guards appear. Enon, come, I will show you our world. A ship appears through the balcony. They get on it and with the guards fly out. Enon is in a ship over the city. Enon is showing Kevin and Lisa a fantastic futuristic city that is very classical. Although it does not have tall buildings, there are lots of green spaces and open areas. Lisa, it must have taken centuries to build all this. Kevin, it doesn't look crowded. Enon, spacious and healthy, what you call houses, is our first priority. Lisa, I thought it would be food. Enon, housing is the fabric on which the thread of life is woven. Kevin, if this was Earth, it would be crawling with people. Enon, we have as many people as Earth, only we are spread out, so we blend with the ecology of the planet. Lisa, we're just recognizing that on Earth. Enon, let's go down and see the people. The ship starts to spiral down. Exterior of the street on the planet. The streets are filled with people to greet Kevin and Lisa, all types of different people. A small child runs up to Lisa and offers her some flowers and a kiss. Lisa kneels down and says thank you. The child runs back to her parents and the crowd. They seem very happy, Kevin says. Enon, they are here to greet you. News travels fast here. Lisa, they almost seem to glow. Enon, you're perceiving the echo effect. They are echoing the love to one another. Kevin, I'm surprised. I thought everyone would be carrying a wand around. Enon, you forget your wands are more you forget our wands are more powerful than anything you've experienced. Kevin, I see. Enon, we enjoy the simple pleasures of life. Lisa, how do you get things done? Enon, we use the power of the wand when necessary. Kevin, can we see it? Enon, come, I will show you the power of the wand. They get on a ship and return to the hall of the palace. The people wave as they leave. Interior hall of the palace day. The ship with Enon, Kevin, and Lisa returns from the tour of the city. They enter and Enon sits on the throne and Kevin and Lisa sit in chairs on her side. Enon claps her hand and a guard enters with a wand. Enon, behold the power of the wand. The guard stands near the window and points the wand at the rock that Kevin and Lisa rode from Earth. He levitates the rock and then brings it to the center of the room in front of Kevin and Lisa. Enon claps her hands again, and at this, the guard gives the rock a blast from the wand. A kind of laser beam comes out of the wand and hits the rock. The rock turns red from being heated and then turns white hot. Enon claps his hands again. The guard blasts the rock again. This time it disappears. A small pile of dust is all that's left. Lisa, our ship. Kevin walks over and lets the dust run through his fingers. Kevin, that's incredible. Enon. Yes, it's the most powerful force in the universe because it is the force of the universe. Kevin. What is the quantum? Enon. I will have our scientists explain it to you tomorrow. Lisa. That was our ship that was destroyed. Enon. You will be provided with another when we make preparations for your return. Kevin. Power wants to help Earth. Enon. Of course. But take some rest now. We have planned a celebration tonight for your arrival. At your balcony, Lisa's quarters night. They're resting and looking over the city at night. Lisa. It is very beautiful here. Kevin. Yes. Lisa. Have you had the thought or just staying here? Kevin. Yes. But this is no time to leave Earth in a crisis. Lisa. I know. They hug one another and they look over the city. Interior men's cottage on the Pacific Island. Buddy and Norman are talking to each other after lying down to sleep for the night. Buddy, I wonder what Kevin and Lisa are doing right now. Norman, they're probably found a great place to live and we'll never see them again. Buddy, no, they'll be back. Father John said so. Norman, go to sleep. We have lots of things to do tomorrow. Buddy, you're right. Good night. Norman, good night. Interior hall of the palace. The hall has been set up with many tables for their guests to eat and Kevin and Lisa. Everyone is already seated with Kevin and Lisa arrived dressed in their futuristic clothes. Enon stands. Enon, a greeting to our visitors, Kevin and Lisa. The party crowd gives Kevin applause as they are shown to their seats next to Enon. Maidens begin to serve food to Kevin, Lisa, and the guests. This is quickly done. Enon, we have planned some entertainment for your pleasure. Enon claps her hands and the group of dancing girls do a futuristic dance number for the guests. After the dance number is over and they are finished eating, Enon says to Kevin and Lisa, the guests would like to meet you both. Do you mind mingling? Kevin acts shy. Lisa, it will be a pleasure. Everyone has started getting up and mingling. Kevin and Lisa get up and mingle with the guests of the banquet. Maidens are serving a kind of dessert to everyone. Kevin, Lisa, and Enon meet again in the same place after interacting with several guests. Enon, are you having a good time? Kevin, sure. Everyone likes you very much, and they all think Lisa's very beautiful. Lisa, thank you. Enon, they would like to give you a gift to show their appreciation for your coming here. Enon claps her hands. There is some fanfare, music, horns. Four guards bring in 2 chests filled with gold and jewels. Kevin looks speechless. He picks up some of the gold ornaments and looks at them. Kevin, thanks. I don't know what to say. Enon, say nothing. You both must be tired. We will show you to your quarters. Ilona, with her group of maidens, enters the room. As Kevin and Lisa leave, the guards carry the 2 chests of gold behind them to the room. Enon gives an acknowledging look to Ilona. She returns an acknowledging look, then follows Kevin and Lisa to their quarters. Kevin and Lisa's quarters. Ilona and her group enter, following Kevin and Lisa. The guards place the 2 chests of gold in front of them. Ilona, with her group, and the guards quickly leave. Kevin and Lisa are standing in front of the chests of gold. Lisa, what splendor. Kevin, why are they treating us this way? Lisa, you'll ask Enon tomorrow. Kevin, you're right. At that, Kevin takes off the wand and places it on top of one of the chests of gold and caresses Lisa. Into the hallway in front of Kevin and Lisa's quarters. Ilona is waiting outside the door. Exterior of the Pacific Island. The men are putting more thatch on the buildings and generally strengthening them. It is a bright day and they are using lots of sweat and muscle. The men take a break. They are given water out of coconut bowls by the women. Lots of flirting going on between the men and the women. Father John walks up. Father John, it looks wonderful, buddy. Father John, when do you think Kevin will return? Father John, we will be finished before he returns. I feel he will return soon. Norman, can you be more accurate, Father John? Father John, maybe 5 days. Kevin and Lisa's quarters at night. Kevin and Lisa are in a loving embrace asleep. Ilona sneaks into the room and takes the wand that Kevin left on the chest of gold. Exterior Pacific Island. The men are still talking to Father John. Father John, we must continue so we will be finished when they return. Buddy, all right. The men return to their duties in the cottages. Exterior, Kevin and Lisa's quarters. Kevin and Lisa have just awakened. They look at the world from their bed. Kevin, pretty incredible evening. Lisa, I wonder if they have room service. Kevin, I'll see. Kevin goes to open the doors. They're locked. Kevin says they're locked in. He looks for his wand in the chest of gold, on the chest of gold, and sees it's missing. Kevin, it's gone. Lisa, what's gone? They tricked us. They've stolen the wand. Lisa, Enon said he would supply us with ships and power wands to return. Kevin, they've trapped us. We've got to find an escape. Lisa quickly gets dressed and they go out onto the balcony. Exterior balcony. Kevin and Lisa's room. Kevin and Lisa see a ledge to another balcony. It's very high and they have a harrowing journey getting to the other side. Kevin slips and falls over. He holds onto an ornament on the wall that saves him. He pulls up and has to help Lisa over the same dangerous spot to get to the other side. Interior room next to Lisa's quarters. They enter the room cautiously and go for the door. It is unlocked. Kevin ducks his head out to see what's going on, then returns. We've got to get our hands on one of those power wands or we'll never get out of here. Interior hall. Kevin and Lisa sneak down the hall, ducking into the alcoves as the maidens pass. Interior alcove hallway. Kevin looks around the corner and quickly comes back. Here come 2 guards with power wands. Continue. The guards approach. Kevin steps out of the alcove so he can be seen. Hallway of the palace. The 2 guards see Kevin duck into the alcove. The guards run to apprehend him. Interior of the palace. As the first guard enters the alcove, Kevin knocks him unconscious. Kevin then hits the second guard as he comes around the corner. They drag the unconscious guards into the alcove, change into their uniform, and hide the power wands in their sleeves. Kevin and Lisa make their way, disguised as guards, to the hall room of the palace to find Enon. Interior. Kevin and Lisa enter the hall and find Enon on her throne talking to Ilona. Ilona quickly leaves behind the throne. So you escaped. Kevin, why did you take my wand? Enon, I ordered it removed. Kevin, why? Enon, you will lead a happy life here. Lisa, millions of people will die if we don't complete this mission. Enon, consider yourself lucky to have escaped and enjoyed the life you have here. Kevin, no, it won't be that way. At this point, 2 rows of guards with power wands come from behind the throne and flank Kevin and Lisa on both sides. They use their power wands to create a laser grid containing them. Enon, I had hoped you would come more agreeably, but you will adjust with time. Kevin looks at the grid and then looks up at the ceiling and sees 2 large beams that could be cut with his and Lisa's power wands and effectively block the grid of the guards. He gets Lisa's attention to see this. Enon, the guards will escort you to your room. The guards begin to move the grid. Kevin, wait. Kevin hollering, wait. This is a signal for him and Lisa to hit the beams in front of the guards with the power wands hidden in their sleeves. They do this very swiftly and the beams come crashing down, breaking the grid. The guards' power beams go ricocheting around the room. Kevin and Lisa rush Enon and hold her hostage as the dust settles. Kevin, tell them to bring our ship loaded with power wands to return us to Earth or else. Enon, is there nothing we can do to dissuade you? Kevin, no, we must save Earth. Enon, do as he wishes. We felt that mankind would be ready when one of you could find us and demand to save Earth, Kevin explained. After building the pyramids, it was felt that access to this power would have been a distraction to all mankind until now. 6 ships appear on the balcony, loaded with power wands, 2 chests of gold, and futuristic clothes. Kevin, would you like to return with us? Enon, no, I have completed my mission. Enon reaches over and gives Kevin a kiss and Lisa a big hug and then walks them to their ships. Enon, you have little time. There's a book in the ship containing the quantum. Kevin, thanks. Enon, I must warn you that the disintegration beam will explode bombs. You must devise a defensive plan. Kevin, I understand. Enon, there is still danger. The ships are loaded with plenty of power wands to implement a plan. Thank you, Enon. May your journey be pleasant. Kevin and Lisa wave as they leave. Kevin kicks the lead ship into action with the power wand, and the other ships follow. Exterior Pacific Island is at the water day. Buddy is floating in the water. Norman approaches. Buddy, get up from there and help build. Buddy, architectural student. The ladders are too wobbly. They aren't safe enough even for chimpanzees. Norman, go fly a rock. Norman leaves Buddy in the water. Buddy thinks for himself. Buddy says, you're right. Buddy starts getting out of the water. Pacific Island at the cottages. Buddy comes over flying through on a mini rock and dives past the cottage. Norman, cut it out, Buddy. Buddy pulls up next to Norman and the other men. Buddy, Norman, we've been doing this thing all wrong. Buddy, oh yeah. Buddy, yeah, we haven't been using our noggins since Kevin isn't around to do it for us. Norman, okay, wise guy. How do we secure these cottages against the rain? Buddy, we put this rock in the middle of the village and create a force field around the whole village like the house. Norman, you're right. Buddy, we just need bamboo for privacy. How about if we help each other build their own houses? Norman, good idea. New spaceships at night. We see Kevin and Lisa in the lead spaceship. The top is up and they are resting in the bed of a secret compartment in the ship. He's reading the book of the quantum. Lisa is cuddling next to him. She cuddles a little closer. Pacific Island. 5 new houses have been built and they're working on number 6. Father John walks up. The universe never ceases to amaze me. The Pentagon. Flanders and Horton are in the office as General Sams talks on the phone. He has a wand in his hand and is tapping the rock that's on the table as they talk. The General Sams, no, Mr. President, there has been no sightings, not a clue to the metal formula. They covered their tracks really well. Professor Henry's office. A female student is returning a book. Female student, thanks for letting me borrow this book. I'm going to miss your class next semester. Professor Henry, yes, there's much more of the pyramids to explore. Professor Henry gets up from his desk as the student leaves. He looks at Stone Mountain from his window. Interior of the new spaceship. Kevin has just finished reading the book and closes it. Lisa, do you understand the quantum now? Kevin, yes, but that doesn't help. Lisa, why? Kevin, we still have to come up with a defensive plan. Lisa, can't we just rush them and levitate the bombs out to outer space? Kevin, too risky. A war might get started. Lisa, I can't wait to get back to the island. Kevin thinks for a minute. Island? That's the key. Kevin closes the top of the ship. Exterior Pacific Island. We see all the cottages have been finished. Norman and Elaine walk down to the beach. They arrive at the beach. We see several of them playing in the water on the beach. Norman and Elaine lie down to sunbathe. Buddy comes swinging around on a small rock, hits the water so it splashes up on Norman and Elaine. They sit up quickly, irritated. Norman hollers at Buddy, when are you going to grow up? Buddy, never. Buddy then swings around and comes with another splash, hitting everyone this time. Chan, let's get him. Peter and Jan, yeah, even Sherry. Now, the group races to the large rocks and take off after Buddy. The group pursues Buddy over the water. He escapes several times. He is finally cornered on all sides by the group. Buddy, it was just fun. Norman, right, like this. Norman, Chan, Peter reach over with their wands to deactivate Buddy's rock. Buddy starts screaming for them to stop. Buddy, no, don't do that. I'll stop. It's too late. Buddy's rock is deactivated, and the rock falls into the water along with Buddy. The group laughs. They swing down to pick him up, but Buddy is pulled onto Norman's rock like a wet puppy. He manages to hold his wand. Buddy, okay, you made your point. Eve throws him a cloth to dry off. The Pentagon. Flanders and Horton are listening as General Sams talks to the President. General Sams, yes, Mr. President, we have heavy artillery on the mountain if they show up there. General Sams hangs up the phone and turns to Flanders and Horton. Exterior new spaceship. Kevin and Lisa are sitting and looking intensely as the ship travels. Earth approaches from the distance. They both stand and look as they get closer to Earth. The top of Stone Mountain, daytime. Several tanks and missiles are on top of the mountain. Men arrays are lounging on top of each tank. Are you sure the general hasn't flipped? Army man number 1, Army man number 2. That's what he said. Look for flying rocks and hit them with everything. Army man looks around. Never seen flying rocks. Second Army man just looks at him. Exterior. Sky over the Pacific Island. Kevin and Lisa descend to the island from their journey. Exterior water at the Pacific. The group sees the ships descending. Look at that. Eve, what is it? Maybe it's Kevin, Norman says. Elaine, let's go. They start rushing up to the cottage where the ships look like they are going to land. Exterior Pacific Island. Kevin and Lisa land with the new ships. They are greeted by the group on their return. Father John to Miranda inside the cottage. Kevin has returned. Miranda comes outside. Father John and Miranda walk together to greet them. Father John grabs Kevin's hand. Kevin, you've returned. Kevin, yes, and with more power to complete our mission. Father John, I knew the universe would guide you back safely. Kevin, and you completed the village. Father John, everyone did. It's beautiful, Lisa says. Kevin, we have to move now. I need everyone's help. Everyone stops talking to listen. We need to see how the new power wands work. It's the same except for this. He then shows them. Everyone stops talking to listen. Kevin, you need to see how the new power wands work. It's the same except for this. He then shows them how to use it by hitting one of the rocks with the beam. Turns red, then white, then disappears. Kevin got it. They all acknowledge that they are ready. Kevin begins opening the ships and handing out power wands and clothes to the men. Lisa gives power wands and clothes to the women. Exterior Atlanta skyline, close to Stone Mountain. We see the new ships approaching Stone Mountain with the Rock Riders in their new futuristic garb and wands. Exterior Stone Mountain. The Army men see the new ships descending to the top of the mountain. Army 1. This is it. Let's get a move on. Army 2. Right. They all scramble onto the top of the tanks with missiles on top. They guide the missiles point upward, targeting the ships in the air. They fire all their missiles. Exterior. There's a big explosion as the missiles hit their target. Interior. Professor Henry's office. He hears the explosion all the way in town. He gets up, looks out the window, and sees the huge fireball smoke from the explosion. Top of the Stone Mountain. As the smoke clears, the Rock Riders are in the middle of the tanks. They are all standing on top of their ships with their power wands drawn, ready to fire. They look like futuristic warriors. The Rock Riders hit all the tanks with quick burst of power from their power wands. There's a minor explosion in the exterior treads and under the tanks. Exterior top of Stone Mountain tank. The Army men are frightened at the display of power by the Rock Riders' power wands and decide to retreat. Army Man 1, get this crate out of here. Army Man 2, it won't budge. Army Man 1 speaks into the radio. Let's get out of here. The Army men begin jumping off the tanks. Exterior top of the mountain. There's an eerie calm on top of the mountain after the battle. Kevin gets off his ship and walks on the granite top. Kevin holds his power wand to the top of the mountain and turns on the power. There's a strange rumbling as the mountain absorbs the vibration. Professor Henry's office. Professor Henry feels a jolt in the building that is similar to the jolt of an earthquake. He sits down and continues looking out his window at Stone Mountain as the building continues to have a low rumbling. 4-lane highway just outside of Atlanta. The freeway is stopped, bumper to bumper, traffic going both ways. The Rock Riders look on as Kevin turns up the power. Back of cars on the freeway. We see the freeway pavement cracking directly behind the car. The car has 2 young children looking out the back of the window. Interior of the car behind on the freeway. We see car number 1 rising as the freeway and the land beneath it begin to rise. The 2 small children wave goodbye as they rise out of sight. A wall of earth and granite seen rising in front of the car. Exterior top of Stone Mountain day. Karen turns the power up even higher. Professor Henry can see Stone Mountain rising higher and higher out of the ground from his window. Kevin turns the power up to the max. Professor Henry sees Stone Mountain come completely out of the ground and head straight for outer space. From Earth Day, we see the bottom of Stone Mountain as it rises up into outer space. Top of the Stone Mountain. Rock Riders see day turn into night. In a sea of stars, the moon appears. As the mountain reaches the desired height above Earth, Kevin stops adding power. Stone Mountain is now a rock island floating above Earth. Exterior of the mountain in outer space. Kevin holds the power wand at a different angle and turns the power on, turning the mountain over in a 180-degree turn. They turn from facing the night and the stars in outer space to the Earth floating as a large blue marble planet in the sky over their rock island. Kevin, atop of Stone Mountain. Kevin then hits the mountain with another power surge to set the side angle, setting the mountain into orbit over Earth. Kevin gets back on his ship and turns to the group of Army men who have grouped together. He floats a large boulder to them. Return them to the White House. Norman and Elaine see the men and know what to do. Norman picks up the rock with his power wand as Elaine maneuvers the ship toward the Army men. They climb on the rock. Norman and Elaine fly off, escorting the Army men down. Pentagon. Flanders and Horton and the General Sams are in the office when the phone rings. General Sams, what? Flanders and Horton and the General scramble to look out the window. They see the rock island in the sky. White House launch. Norman descends with the Army men on the rock. He sets the rock down on the White House lawn and leaves it there. The Army men get off the rock. They watch as Norman and Elaine take off in the sky again. The top of Stone Mountain, outer space. Kevin, I want all weapons destroyed. The Rock Riders lift the tanks with their power wands. They throw them into the atmosphere of the Earth where they will burn up like shooting stars before they reach the ground. Pentagon. Flanders, Horton, and General Sam see the shooting star effect of the tanks disintegrating as they fall through the atmosphere. Exterior White House. Army men are standing on the White House lawn, see the shooting stars of their falling tanks. Interior Professor Henry office. The office sees the shooting star effect of the falling tanks from his window. Top of Stone Mountain space. Ellen and Norman return. The Great Pyramid must have a special angle, Kevin says. Angle puts a power wand in a tripod-type survey device that rises out of the ship. Kevin then sets the angle. He then turns on the laser type cutting beam, slicing one side of the mountain. The other rock riders position above the side and pull the huge rock face away. This reveals the first face of the pyramid. It is very bright as the sun reflects off of it. Professor Henry's office sees the first face of the pyramid light up. Top of Stone Mountain in outer space. Kevin then turns the wand to cut the second face. This section happens to be the one that has the Confederate memorial carved on it. Kevin makes the cut of the second face of the pyramid. We see the Confederate memorial carving going face down as the rock riders pull the second section of the rock away, revealing the second face of the pyramid. Atlanta Street Day. People in the street are seeing the second face of the pyramid light up. Top of Stone Mountain outer space. Kevin turns and slices the third face of the mountain. The rock riders pull the side, revealing the third. The roof of the Professor Henry's office. As we can see Professor Henry looking up at the third face lights up. Top of Stone Mountain out. Kevin cuts the fourth face of the pyramid. The rock riders pull the side of the mountain away, revealing the light of the fourth face of the pyramid. The Pentagon Lawn. Flanders, Horton, and the General see the fourth face of the pyramid light up as they stand outside the Pentagon. General Sam leaves Flanders standing there. He gets into a military limousine leased for the White House. The top of the mountain, the pyramid of outer space. The rock riders float above the glowing light of the mountain that is now a great pyramid. Kevin, we'll let the world think about this. Rock riders understand. They float away, leaving Kevin and Lisa alone. Kevin and Lisa floats the ship higher above the pyramid. Exterior. Kevin and Lisa next to the pyramid night. We see Kevin and Lisa's ship with the compartment open, floating in the night. Kevin and Lisa's ship next to the pyramid. Kevin and Lisa are in bed under the covers. It's so wonderful. I never dreamed it would be like this, Lisa says. Kevin, me either. Kevin leans over and begins kissing. Interior observatory. We see a scientist looking through a telescope. Oh my, my. Exterior Kevin's ship next to the pyramid night. We see Kevin's hand reach up and close the top of the ship. Continued, we see the ship and the moon glowing pyramid floating in the night sky. Exterior, Professor Henry's roof at the university. Professor Henry is at his chair asleep in the morning. He has stayed up all night watching the pyramid in the sky. The sounds of the birds awaken him. Kevin and Lisa's ship next to the pyramid. The compartment is open and Kevin and Lisa are looking out over the pyramid. The pyramid shape makes the rock a geotransformer. Lisa, really? Kevin, it will stay up here forever. Buddy approaches on his ship. Can a man have some peace? Kevin says. Buddy, we wanted to know what to do to get started. Kevin, we'll be down in a minute. Exterior, side of Stone Mountain Pyramid Day. Buddy arrives on his ship and reports to the ground waiting instructions. They'll be here soon. Kevin and Lisa arrive. They get off their ship and Kevin addresses rock riders. Buddy, Eve, and Lisa, we're going to help me cut some smaller pyramids. Buddy, all right. Buddy and Eve get ready to go into action. Norman, and Elaine, I want you to take the extra rock over there and build a meeting hall. Norman, I'll build a palace. Father John, we will help them. They leave to get started. Chan and Sherry, I want you to start cutting more ships out of that rock. Sherry, we can handle it. Chan, right. They leave to begin. Peter and I want you and Jan to round up as many people as possible, give them power wands, and teach them how to use the rock ships to pass an airplane through the force field. Peter and Jan get on their ships to leave. We need to finish by nightfall for the completion of our mission tomorrow. Kevin, Lisa, Buddy go to one side and begin cutting 15 smaller pyramids out of the rock that was sheared from the mountain. Father John and Miranda leave with Norman, Elaine to build a large building. Chan and Sherry are cutting rock ships. Peter and Jan are instructing people in how to use the power wands and fly an airplane through the force field. Kevin and his group finish the 15 small pyramids. Kevin sends Buddy out to get the others to start the mission. The Rock Riders are gathered on their ships near the small pyramids. The Rock Riders take off with the small pyramids floating behind them. Exterior U.S. night. We see a dust storm as Kevin digs a hole and places a small pyramid in it and covers it up. Russia night. Norman and Elaine bury a small pyramid in Russia. Buddy and Eve bury a small pyramid in India. Chan and Sherry bury a small pyramid in France. Peter and Jan bury a small pyramid in China. Land. Montage of several small pyramids being buried in the ground. Site of Stone Mountain Pyramid. The Rock Riders are assembled after placing all the small pyramids in nuclear-armed countries. We have laid the groundwork. We'll implement the plan tomorrow. Exterior side Stone Mountain Pyramid. Kevin is giving a speech to the new recruits. The Rock Riders are standing next to Kevin. You are all very lucky to be participating in this great moment in history. If our mission is successful by this evening, the threat of nuclear annihilation of the world will no longer exist. The end of the atomic age and the beginning of the world peace. There is a cheer from the recruits. Your part in this mission is to protect innocent planes from crashing into the force field. After we've activated them, follow your section's chiefs to the countries you've been assigned to. The new recruits begin leaving. We see the rock ships stream into the sky and disappear. Kevin turns to the Rock Riders. Ready? Kevin, the Rock Riders point their power wands at Earth and begin sending blasts that activate the small pyramids, creating force fields around the countries with nuclear weapons. The Rock Riders get on their ships and head for Earth. Sky. Recruit helps a 747 pass through the force field. We see several of these. Exterior sky over Russia. We see Buddy and Eve preventing a Russian fighter plane from crashing into the force field, but he then takes over controls of the plane with his power beam. Russia, the controls go haywire. Buddy safely lands a Russian fighter on the ground. International ticket counter night. There is an angry crowd at the ticket counter. Ticket agent is just waving his hands in the air for people to go away. Above the ticket agent is a monitor showing all flights listed canceled. White House. Kevin and Lisa ride to the White House. General Sams comes out. Kevin speaks. All countries with nuclear weapons have been sealed off in force fields. We'll maintain these force fields until you disarm your weapons. General Sams. The President says we'll disarm. Interior of the Oval Office. We see the hand of the President pick up the red phone and call the Russians. Exit Kremlin. Buddy and Eve ride over to the Kremlin. The top general of Russia comes out and gives a nod yes. Tiananmen Square. Chan and Sherry ride to the square. Officials come out and nod yes. Montage of several officials from different countries that have nuclear arms coming out and nodding yes to the Rock Riders. Exterior Stone Mountain beside the pyramid in front of the palace. Rock Riders arrive from their mission. They land in front of the building. The area is covered with the recruits that help. They cheer at the Rock Riders' arrival. The Rock Riders get off their ships and walk up the steps to the palace. It's crowded. As the Rock Riders get to the top of the stairs, they turn around and face the people. Kevin and Lisa by his side hold up the power wands as a victory. There is a roar and cheer from the crowd as they enter the palace. The Rock Riders enter the great hall of the palace, crowded with people. They walk down the great hall, cheered on by the people. They reach the other side of the hall. Kevin and Lisa turn and sit. They embrace and kiss. They are surrounded by the Rock Riders on both sides. The end.